Hi, this is Boris. Welcome to another episode of Sketchman Draws. So today we're going to talk about how to draw trees. But before that, I just wanted to remind you that to subscribe to our art magazine, where we curate independent artists. So the link can be found in the description below. And of course, if you haven't done yet, please consider subscribing to this channel, and so that it can support me. And so with that. Let's get to the topic for today, which is how to draw trees. So I just took this picture from Pinterest of a tree bark, trunk. I don't know how you say, like a tree bark. I'll just say bark. So what we will try to do is we are trying to create that sort of form, right? So most tree trunks and most barks are cylinders. So if you take a cylinder and you light it from that side, of course the opposite side will be dark, right? So, and here in this case, because the surface of the cylinder is smooth, we can just create that illusion with like vertical lines, straight lines, and you can do different paths at it and add lines. So the more dense, the more concentrated the lines will be, the more dense the lines will be, the darker the value will appear, right? Like that area will appear darker. And if you if the space between the lines is really big, so then the area will appear lighter. So that's the kind of logic that we are going to follow when we are going to try to create the texture, that wood texture that we find on trees. And there is a lot of observation, but there's also a lot of experimentation. So I'm just going to reduce this, put it to the side. I'm going to do another cylinder here. So if I'm, for example, if I'm looking at a tree that looks like the one from the picture, right? So it's like a crackly kind of lines, and you can sort of play with it. Like you can go like random lines like that. Like you don't have to connect them, to leave them like sort of, you know, unconnected and random, and so that gives that organic look. And of course you start with one layer, what I call a layer, right? Like, which means like one pass, like one to establish the basic texture, okay? And then once you've done that, and you know, like it's sort of, and even, I mean, if you leave this and you create a tree and you put these texture on it, people will know that this is a tree, right? So same thing, right? If the light is coming from the right hand side, so the left hand side will be in dark. So instead of using the vertical lines, you can also use vertical lines, but I'm just replicating the random lines that I did. So I'm basically using, instead of using just hatching or cross hatching to create darker values, I'm actually using the texture itself to create darker and lighter values. Okay, and again, you can do as many passes as you want just to create the effect that you want, of course. But you know, for example, here I'm putting on a third one to sort of create that. Again, it's to create that illusion of form, that illusion of texture, and it looks messy, but it also looks organic. I'm going to do another one here, and this is a bit experimental. And like imagine that a tree has sort of crosses like this. And you can do this. You can try to experiment with different mark making, and you'll see. And of course, at some point, it will stop looking like a tree. So then that means that it's not the right mark making. You have to pull it back and one of the things that gave me the idea to do this tutorial was looking at Bernie Wrightson's artwork, and actually this is the problem with digital, because you can zoom in too much, and if you zoom in too much it will ruin the illusion. So I'm going to draw one last one, and I'm going to end with the most common texture that we are all familiar with, right? If you have furnitures, go look at the surface of the furniture. Like there's a, when we think of wood texture, there's a design that comes to mind, right? Like it's the veins of the tree that you see. So I'm creating like vertical lines, but they are not straight, strict parallel lines, because then it will look mechanic and not natural. So I'm just creating parallel lines, but I'm letting them like flow in a random way. Sometimes they touch each other, and like and as you can see, it already looks like, you know, it starts to look like something made out of the wood texture, right? Like and of course, so this is our basic layer, and then I can go in and add lines to create darker values for the shading. So this is for the bark, the trunk area. Of course, this is good to know, because if you imagine you want to draw a character leaning on a tree, you can use this. But if you're looking at the tree from far away, and which is the next part we're going to look at, which is foliage, if you're looking at the full tree, of course, you will not be able to see these details from that far, right? Like you'll probably see a few lines that will appear. Oops, sorry, I need to remove all this. But I just wanted to, anyway, I think I can show you what I was going to demonstrate. So I took a picture. Again, these pictures are from Pinterest. I just typed trees. And what you have to keep in mind is the outline of the tree. And I think this approach, I mostly do it in, I think in many things, which is like look at the outline and then go in for the details, right? Like so here, for example, of course the outline is a little bit jagged because these are random leaves coming out from the center of the bark, the trunk. You know, so the trunk is in the middle of the tree. The branches basically, you know, branch out of the trunk, and then the leaves themselves go away from the trunk, right? So for example, if I take a Christmas tree, or I don't know the name of the tree, but the tree we use for Christmas, we associate with the Christmas is so like, for example, you can say that the direction goes from top to bottom, right, in a curvy manner. So you need to just think about that. So like I said, usually the direction is from the trunk outward. So we're going to draw three types of trees. One where the light will be coming from the top left-hand side. One where the light will be coming from the opposite side, from the top right-hand side. And of course one where the light is going to be coming directly above the tree. By the way, I've already done this because these are I do online workshops every Sunday, and these videos are from those workshops. So no, this recording was recorded just for this tutorial, but the workshops I do are free. You can see the description you can see the link to my meetup group in the description, and you can join in for free, and it's a lot of fun. So here, when you start, I started to draw like small trees because it's easier to draw for demonstration. Of course, you can. It really depends on how much time you want to put in, how much like detail you want to put in. But here, just for the demonstration, like the process, the approach that you need to have in terms of drawing a tree, I just chose to draw the tree really small. So again, like I said, you need to keep in mind that behind that the foliage hides the branch and the trunk that is in the middle, right? So but we can imagine it, that the leaves are going away from it. So when the leaves are going away from it, so the outer contour of the leaves become the outline for those lumps of leaves. Like when you're looking at this, you're not actually looking at leaves. You're not looking at individual leaves because they're too small to look at, to see from this far away. So what you will see are lumps of leaves or groups of leaves. Okay, so you need to figure out how those groups of leaves look like. And like I said, that's when the direction of the leaves come in handy. So we said that for this one, the light will be coming from the top left-hand side. So I do the same thing I did with the bark, which is I'm using the same gesture that I used to create the marks that allowed me to create the leaves, the group of leaves, right? Like those kind of round shapes. I'm using them and adding them to create the darker values where the shadows will fall, and so that creates the illusion that the light is not going through in those areas, right? And actually, if you look at it, like the darkest area usually of the tree will be the middle, because that's the part where the light cannot get through, because maybe the leaves are really dense there, and so those kind of things you can pick up, when you observe. So the next time you go to a park, like try to observe the tree, look at it, like look at the lines, how they fall on the bark, and look at how, like, the way the leaves are positioned, the direction that they are facing away, like how they are facing away from the trunk, and the curve of the trunk and things like that. I think it could be quite interesting. And of course, like, trees are fun to draw because they're organic, so the lines can be totally random and you can still get the effect. But you need to keep these general principles in mind in order to create, again, that illusion that you're drawing a tree. So the first tree, I just wanted to do it in real time. So the other trees I've sped up, as you will see, just to basically show you quickly how that translates to how would you draw if the shadows were to fall in different areas, and how that would affect the shadow or the shading. So for example here, like, I just sped up, so as you can see, this is not the actual speed, this is sped up by 200%, so it's twice the speed I draw. And again, like, yeah, so it's very important to experiment with the texture. Of course, the whenever, like, and again, don't be afraid to draw for yourself, because especially now, maybe it's the, I mean, just if I have to give a little point, which is, and I tend to feel this too, like sometimes because of social media, you kind of feel like you have to show this drawing to someone, but actually no, you don't have to show all your drawings. Like, actually, art is for yourself mainly. We've made it for others, but it has to be fun for yourself, so it's very personal, so you need to have a personal relationship with it first before you can share it with others. So have fun, don't worry about the others' judgments, and don't let the other's opinion dictate what you feel about drawing. So yeah, so as you can see, I'm creating those kind of rounded kind of cross-hatching to replicate the form of the leaves. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this for today, and hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, please, the links are in the subscription. Please consider subscribing to the channel, share, like, and of course comment. If you have any requests or if you have any questions, please comment in the comment section below. I'll try to answer. I'm trying to make at least one video a week. Sometimes I make a little more, but at the moment I'm a bit busy with freelance work, so I haven't been able to create videos, but I'll be able to get back to it soon. But other than that, like, yeah, we have the BKK UNZINE art magazine. By the moment this when this video is being recorded, you would have sent out already the magazine, so go check that out. And as always, this is Boris for Sketchman Draws, signing off.